Okay, so moving along now, moving along to Athena Michaelidou. She is the director of the Cyprus Pedagogical Institute. Athena, can you hear us? Athena, can you hear us?
Please share your, open your microphone, unmute your microphone.
We can see the PowerPoint.
Can you listen to me now? Can you listen to me now? Hello? Yes? Can you listen to me? This is...
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Okay, unfortunately, I cannot use the camera for a reason. I don't know why, but...
Okay, no problem, but please enter the presenting mode in your PowerPoint.
Yes, I will.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, thank you very much, Athena. You have...
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I hope you can hear me well now. Yes?
We can hear you very well, yes.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon from Cyprus, Nicosia then. And thank you for this opportunity to the organizers. And it's been a great opportunity to listen to what happened during this period, this difficult period in different countries. I'm giving an overview of what happened in Cyprus, in the Cyprus educational system. And mainly, I'm going to present this emergency situation here in Cyprus, some policies and practices that went along while being locked down and while the schools were shut, and a very brief reflection on that. So the emergency situation, we were not well prepared for that, of course. Nobody was, I guess. We had to move on and make sure that students had this continuity, not only in learning, but of contact with their teachers and the school. So we experienced a shock. This shock was full of uncertainty, not only from the ministry or the teachers and the schools, but mainly regarding families, students and their parents. We also experienced resistance because people were afraid, were not sure about their skills and their competences using online education, using distance learning. And of course, as everyone, we experienced many challenges regarding this phase. Our aim, I have to say that the Cyprus educational system is very centralized. So we had to think of an action plan in order to make use and make this an advantage, how to help schools and families. So we had to ensure continuity of learning and teaching. We had to support families, ensure that their well-being, both students and parents, because this period was really difficult for everyone. Support students, and as you know, students with multiple needs and various challenges at home. Support also teachers. This was our major challenge because not all of our teachers were ready to use technologies. Not every teacher was willing to do that. Even if they wanted to help the students, we really had this issue as well. And of course, promote good practices. We moved in two levels, centrally, ministry level. Since we are a small educational system, this ran smoothly because we took advantage of the central website of the ministry. in order to provide students and teachers with material, online access to online sites, and several other things. I'm going to talk about them in a minute. We needed to move, I have the camera now, yes? Yes. We had to move at the school level as well, and we have to work both in a synchronous and asynchronous mode. What do we mean by that? At the ministry levels, we worked really hard and really fast in order to provide students of all ages, of all classes, with asynchronous distance learning. I'm showing some examples in the slides now of what really happened. We had a big effort through TV stations and radio stations, through the media, in order to let the students and their parents know that much stuff is uploaded on the ministry's website. This was the asynchronous distance learning that we tried to offer. Online creative curriculum activities for all students was really rapidly prepared and uploaded, both for primary and secondary. Our emphasis was on graduates, of course, because they had, in a few weeks, they had to sit to give their exams, their final exams, in order to get into universities. So we worked really hard with teachers and groups of experts from universities as well, in order to prepare material for them and have them ready for their examinations as well. As I said, videos, TV spots, TV programs were also prepared in 1 or 2 weeks in order to have students and their parents in contact with the ministry. Digital material and resources were uploaded as well, or were made evident to everyone, because unfortunately before COVID-19, they didn't feel the need sometimes to use this material. And information and guidance on health and safety issues took us so much effort, because we thought that this was really important. Sometimes we felt that this was more important, of course, than teaching and learning. That's why we prepared TV spots on health and safety issues for small children, pre-primary education, as well as for primary education and secondary education. TV spots were regularly presented on our major channels, and of course, TV programs related to the school curricula. Emotional support material for students and parents. This was another really important pillar of our work. We worked with educational psychologists in the ministry and prepared small TV spots and material in order to keep students and their parents secure at home, but also online and in contact with the ministry. Online in-service training for teachers. We used MS Teams, so we offered regular and everyday online in-service training for just letting them know what MS Teams was and how they were going to use it. And at a later stage, we offered several other online training on digital teaching and learning in a more advanced level. We shared information and resources. We should thank Greece for that, since the language is the same. So we shared information and we uploaded so much digital curricular related material on our websites. And of course, it was a very good opportunity to see good practices. Teachers worked on their own in many cases, and they prepared very good material, and this was used in order to share it with other teachers. We ran a big survey, as I saw other countries did so. about digital connectivity and problems that families had with internet access or lack of devices. We saw that we should move really quickly, so we used non-governmental organizations and ministry budget as well in order to provide families with these facilities. Without this, we wouldn't have equal opportunities for everyone. And we still have problems right now, even if schools were reopened and closed again for vacation. But a big effort was made there and most of the needs were satisfied. This is still an ongoing procedure. Of course, a major issue that emerged was the school's infrastructure, which seems that it needs really hard work in order to be ready for future. Now at the school level, we established immediate communication with students and families. The ministry asked all schools, all teachers, and especially leaders, school heads and deputy heads to have an action plan. And this action plan was sent every 2 weeks to the ministry. This action plan contained not only the curricula that was taught online, but mainly the actions that were made for communication with students and families and emotional support. Also, online material was uploaded on the school's website, and schools offered synchronous online teaching and learning using MS Teams, especially at the secondary level. Secondary level and the last 2 primary grades offered classes every day in order to keep students in line with their curricula, with the syllabus that needed to be covered, and mainly with the need to keep contact with school. This was really important for school leavers, the last class of the Lyceum, the last class of secondary, upper secondary education, since there we needed to have regular online teaching in order to cover the necessary syllabus for their entry exams and their graduate exams to get into universities. When schools reopened, there was still continuation of online distance teaching and learning. Students participated live or through distance learning, divided in groups at the school premises. You can see some of the live pictures, photos that we had when people visited them. And we had really very strict protocols for safety and health in order to avoid any problems with COVID-19 there. So there was a learning experience for students, not only regarding school and school material, but also regarding their the safety instructions that they had. Needs were evident on the school's infrastructure, as I said before, and efforts are being made in order to anticipate that centrally. Very briefly, what is important? What remains now for us in Cyprus? It seems that a big number of teachers attended online seminars on distance learning tools, but that is not enough, of course. This is not our only goal. A big number of teachers attended advanced online courses, and now they feel ready or more ready to move to digital education in the future. There is an appreciation now among teachers, students, and parents of distance learning because they've seen in practice that this is something useful, something that can be done, in a very good harmony with live situations. So blended learning or other opportunities to use distance learning will come in September when we restart the schools. There is an urgent need now to apply the strategy for digital skills and competences in our educational system, which was not high in our priorities. And now the ministry goes clearly and works for this strategy in order to have digitally competent teachers and students in our school system. Can move my slide, yes. And the use of technology was a great issue for us because Cyprus didn't have this as a main priority. It's not like some of the other European countries that work in a digital mode more. We used to have technology, using it at the classroom in certain cases. Now everyone sees that we can do more with technology. There's an urgent need to promote the integration of new technologies in teaching and learning. And that's why I refer to a new strategy that is going on now. Lack of resources and great need of training is a great conclusion of coming out of our experience with the pandemic, and the need of a coherent and long-term action plan regarding teaching and learning using new technologies. So we are moving in 3 or 4 next steps. Not only infrastructure that needs to be there and make sure that schools and families have it, but coming out of a strategic plan, we need to have the training for both students and teachers. And during this difficult period, we really understood that the teacher's role is indeed very crucial in everything. And the integration of digital education is our major goal. So coming out of this experience, I should say that we moved the integration of digital education very high in our priorities. So we work at the ministry in order to have a new situation and a very, very concrete action plan for the next weeks to come, and especially for the next school year, where hopefully we will not be forced to use it because of the pandemic, but we want to use it in order to upgrade our educational system. So the future is here indeed. The use of digital education for all, including students with special needs and other special requirements, is one of our major challenges for September. So we are using material, we're preparing material, we are preparing digital resources in order to use online education, external and digital education for smaller groups of students, even if we don't have a problem with pandemic, of course. The use of digital education for other small groups of students, for example, support to students with migrant background or learning difficulties, is already happening. The use of digital education to support generally new technologies in teaching and learning, and promoting horizontal skills and competences, as I said, of both teachers and students. Those were the lessons learned for us. And of course, digital literacy is not only essential, but it is a necessity for the educational system. It's the major lesson learned from us. That was my presentation briefly. And thank you so much again for this opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Athena Michaelidou. Thank you for being on time, first of all. And I would like to say that the educational projects at the Cyprus Pedagogical Institute are always impressive. And we've been following them for many years. And it's good to see now that the integration of educational, digital education is also very impressive. So we'll keep following you and seeing your progress. I think we should leave. Thank you. Your work is always impressive. I think we should leave our questions till the end, if you don't mind.
Unfortunately, I'm not going to be with you later on.
Maybe we can have time then for one question.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Do we have one question? You can also write them in the chat if you like. Okay. I read them from here.
Yes.
Do we have any questions?
No questions so far.
No questions for Dr. Michaelidou? Yes. Okay.
May I ask something, please?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, it's Nicholas Soutopoulos from Ioannina, Greece. And thank you very much, Dr. Athena Michaelidou. I've been in Cyprus many times, and also my sister-in-law works there as a teacher, colleague teacher in Nicosia. And I think always believed this. I always believed this, and I now have just reassured that Cyprus and Greece are two parallel microcosmos, and I mean the educational systems. And as far as I have seen during your presentation, the same problems and the main same solutions have already been improved. I mean in these two countries and the educational systems, of course. And I would like to focus on the in-service, maybe training for teachers, this crucial, very crucial part of our educational system, of course, because we are the foundations and of this service educational system, I mean. And what are you going to do after, during the beginning of the next school years? As far as I have seen, you are going to stay at this remote educational service. And if there is any other educational in-service training about the teachers, I would like to know.
You're right. In-service training is crucial, and we had this opportunity to reassure this, unfortunately, during this difficult period. In-service training is not is optional in our educational system, and I think it is the same in Greece, from what I know. So this is a problem. We are going to offer in-service training that has to be followed, has to be attended by teachers of all levels, primary and secondary and technical vocational education, regardless
is this obligatory?
Technologies. And
is this obligatory or voluntary?
Obligatory, on an obligatory basis for the first time, and give some incentives to the teachers in order to attend it, because if we don't do that, then there is no reason of having small numbers of teachers. We had this in the past, acting as in-service trainers within the school to other teachers. Now we need to have many more teachers coming on board and attending in-service training in this manner, in order to have them ready, give them the skills and give them the competences. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. The competences are there. Europe has done a great job on that in the last few years. So we need to work on the skills and competences for the new era, for the technological classroom. And we are ready at the Pedagogical Institute to have this program in the next few months, starting from October.
Okay.
Thank you. Something more as a detail.
Excuse me, Mr. Stopoulos, we need to go on because we are past, maybe at the end, if, okay?
Thank you so
much. Or you can maybe write it in the chat, and Professor Athena Michaelidou can answer, okay? Sorry about that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Sorry, but time is rushing past, so we need to go on. Thank you once again, Dr. Athena Michaelidou.